Good morning and welcome to another episode of Sick Call. Today we have Captain Erica Jarmer with us. Captain Jarmer is an active duty Army dietitian. Ma'am, thank you for joining us today.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
And of course we have our team here today, Major Rico Fernandez.
Hi everyone.
Sergeant First Class Michelle Phillips.
Good morning.
And myself, Staff Sergeant Scott McMenemy. We also want to wish Sergeant Cube a speedy recovery as he couldn't be here today with us.
So good morning, Captain Jarmer. So would you please start us off this morning and tell us a little bit more about yourself?
Yeah, absolutely, sir. So my name is Captain Erica Jarmer. I've been in the Army for just over 6 years. And I graduated from Cornell University and commissioned out of ROTC as a field artillery officer. And in 2016, I was accepted into the U.S. Military Baylor University Graduate Program in Nutrition. And I graduated in 2018 and am currently the Nutrition Clinic Chief at Blanchfield Army Community Hospital at Fort Campbell. And I'm weeks away from heading to my next duty station at Fort Bragg.
Very cool. That's awesome. So, ma'am, obviously you were already serving before you made your decision to switch over into nutrition. So what prompted that choice for you?
Well, I've always been really drawn to the medical field and also to the military. So I studied nutrition as an undergrad, and after a few years in the Army, just felt really passionately that where I could serve our soldiers and our country best was as a dietitian. I really liked what I did as an artillery officer, but I didn't love it. And nutrition is what I love, so I decided to make the switch.
What was the dietetics program like?
So the dietetics program, the U.S. Military Baylor graduate program, it was a 2-year program, and it's changed a bit since we went through. So I'll try to highlight what it is currently. So currently, new students go to a 4-week training called the Direct Commission course, and that's at Fort Sill, Oklahoma, and it's a 4-week training that introduces new officers into the military. So they have a great team of instructors and cadre that help mentor and introduce new officers into the Army culture and Army skills. And from there, students go to Fort Sam Houston in Texas, and they do a 2-month-long medical basic officer leader course. And that course kind of introduces officers into the Army medical world, as well as kind of refine some of the skills that they learned. From there, the nutrition students start their 9-month-long didactic period at Fort Sam. So they do 9 months of master's coursework. And then from there, based on the research project that was selected, they will either stay in San Antonio or head to one of the other hospitals around the country to complete their research and their 1-year-long internship. So after that internship is completed, then they're eligible to sit for their registered dietitian exam.
I'm sorry, I might have missed that. So is the internship included in the education and training phase of the program, or does it count towards your obligation?
So it's included in the program, sir. So in total, it's a 2-year program, and in phase 1 is the coursework, and phase 2 is the internship. So it's 2 years until you'll be eligible to sit for your dietitian exam, and then you'll have 4 years of service after that point.
Okay.
What does a normal day look like for you?
So I think one of the things that I love most about this job is that every day is so totally different. But an example of a day might be teaching a course or a class here in the hospital for patients. So an example, one of my favorites is our diabetes seminar that we teach. And then potentially I might have a performance nutrition brief with either the Air Assault School or another unit here at Fort Campbell. And then frequently we have meetings with other human performance optimization assets here at Fort Campbell about kind of ongoing projects or initiatives. And sprinkled in there might be a little bit of administrative work as the clinic chief and kind of pertaining to clinic operations.
So can you tell our viewers, so what differentiates Army dietetics from our civilian counterparts, or how does it compare?
Sure. So I think the huge differences will probably just be the patient population that we get to serve, as well as some of the extra opportunities that are very unique to the military. So there is currently a huge transition in nutrition culture within the military. So we are focusing now a lot more on performance nutrition and being very proactive with our soldiers to help prevent them to the point where they need to come in for medical necessity. So I think that's a huge difference and a great thing that is different from military dietitians. And then another area that's different is just a lot of the opportunities. So I had a great opportunity to deploy in a lot of awesome schools, such as Air Salt School, that are just very unique. You will never find those experiences outside of the military. So both training our soldiers to prepare for those opportunities and also occasionally getting blessed with the opportunities to do those ourselves.
Very cool. So do you believe that your experience going through Air Assault yourself and becoming Air Assault qualified enables you kind of a special skill set that maybe you wouldn't have had to be able to relate to those soldiers a little better and being able to help train and mentor them?
Absolutely. I think the opportunity to just experience a little bit of what is more normal to them is great for us. So it kind of helps build that rapport between the soldiers that we teach if we have demonstrated that we have endured a little bit of what they endure on a daily basis. And also I'm a huge advocate that if we are supposed to be teaching and mentoring our soldiers how to fuel appropriately, we need to know what it feels like, on mile 11 when it's hot and humid and we're carrying load. So just having that personal understanding, I think definitely makes our teaching reach a higher level.
What's the favorite thing you like about your job?
I would say my most favorite part of my current job is doing unit briefs. So a lot of times here at Fort Campbell, leaders in a large variety of positions will reach out and ask if the military dietitians can come and educate their soldiers. So I love being invited into a unit's area and being able to help with general nutrition, performance nutrition, and hydration. And it's really fun to kind of just see the light bulb go on for some of these soldiers that what they're putting into their bodies, be it nutrition or beverage, has such a direct impact on their performance and how they feel throughout that day, throughout that field problem, and how well they can accomplish the mission. So that's definitely my favorite part.
Now, you mentioned that every day as an Army dietitian is different, which I think we can all attest to. Every day in the Army is a little bit different than the next one. But how does that tie into your family life?
I think it's been a learning curve. So I recently got married earlier this year, and just kind of that ability to be flexible has been important. My husband's also in the military, so we are both about to move to Fort Bragg in the next 6 months or so. So it'll be the first time that we're together in the same location. So we're quite excited. But I think just that flexibility from day to day in a professional capacity also translate to a personal capacity, especially in the military when we have to learn to deal with changing schedules, changing training. So it's definitely a skill that can cover all aspects of life.
So my next question would have been, it sounds like you answered already, but I'm going to ask it anyway. Just from a professional standpoint, what are you most looking forward to with your next assignment?
So my next assignment, I will be a brigade level provider. So the Army is undergoing this huge transition where we are bringing human performance optimization assets to the units. So instead of being centered at the hospital, I'll be actually assigned to that unit. So I think the biggest difference will just be how available I am to soldiers. And I feel passionately that nutrition should be frequent and informal, and not so much an appointment basis, but just hey ma'am, I have a quick question about this supplement or crazy new diet that I heard about. So I'm really excited just that we'll be able to spend so much more time with individual soldiers in their area. So hopefully they'll be more comfortable and see that it plays a role in their everyday decisions.
Awesome. So obviously, the Army, just like the world around us, has understood that nutrition, sports performance, all those things, those are a big key element of what we do, what our soldiers do, our fighting force has done. And it's very exciting to see where your field is going specifically in regards to this. And that's part of the reason why we wanted to have you on today. Yes, we're kind of in this weird little window where we truly aren't accepting applications for full-time dietitians right now, but the DICAS application, that program actually closes next week. So with that said, is there anything that you would like to impart upon potential GPN applicants that are out there, maybe kind of polishing their final application right now before they hit that, that eternal submit button, if you will?
Sure. So the first thing I would say is hang in there. I fully understand that the application process is long and arduous. So definitely hang in there. It's worth the grind once you get to the point where you're in school and being able to serve in the military. The other piece of advice that I would have is just to find what you're passionate about, and be able to communicate that, whether it's to a board or in writing or to your future boss. Army nutrition is so special in that it's such a wide variety of opportunities that we have. So whatever you are passionate about in the field of nutrition, you'll be able to find it in the Army. So in addition to serving, your country's needs, you'll also be able to do what you're passionate about. So that would be my best advice, is to just be passionate and be able to communicate that passion and act on it.
Awesome. Thank you for that, ma'am.
Well, ma'am, we'd like to thank you again for joining us today.
Yeah, well, thank you so much for having me. This is a great opportunity to reach a whole new future of Army dietitians.
Of course. So this wraps up our show for today. We'd like to thank you for tuning in with us live. You can comment below or on any of our other social media platforms. And we also hope you have a great weekend, and we look forward to seeing you next Friday here at 10 a.m. here on Sit Call.
Bye.
Bye.